Salvete! Hello everybody, welcome to another Latin learning video. This is Latin with Stephen. If you've just happened upon this video, it's part of a beginner's course. We're now on to Unit 3. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the lesson. Today's lesson focuses on adjectives. Now it's building on from third declension nouns. So if you haven't yet watched the videos introducing third declension nouns, I do recommend that you go back to have a look at one or two of those in this Unit 3. If you've watched them already or you're familiar with third declension nouns, then you're in the right place. Let's begin the lesson. So adjectives, describing words. We did earlier in this course introduce some adjectives. They were adjectives which are presented as us, as a second declension masculine in the dictionary. So we had, for instance, bonus. Can you remember that one? Bonus means good. Magnus, big or great. Benignus, benignus is kind. And probus, probus means honest or good-natured. Now these words, as I said, they're presented as a second declension, which is to say if you were talking about a male person in the nominative, then you don't have to do anything to it, because you can just say the good father pater bonus, the honest boy puer probus. If you were talking about a female person or thing, then it needs to have a in the nominative, so it switches to a first declension noun, so a first declension form. So for instance, the honest girl, filia or puella proba, the good matron, matrona bonna. So if you're talking about male, you're going to have us, then accusative genitive e, etc. If you're talking about female, it's going to be a, bona, proba, benigna, accusative genitive I. So it matches the gender. All right. Of course, it could also be neuter, in which case it will be bonum, benignum, etc. All right. So I hope that's clear. Now the adjectives we're going to look at today are what we might call third declension adjectives, which is to say they follow the pattern of third declension nouns. So they're not presented to us with the ending us. All right. They're not us or a words like bonus, benignus. They're a bit different. So before we introduce a few of these, let's just have a little recap of third declension nouns. So I've got one on the board here, and I thought we could have a look at hostis. Now you may remember I said that with third declension nouns, they're all quite different in appearance in the nominative singular, but the accusative, genitive, dative all has set endings. All right. So this is an is noun. There are quite a lot of them. Hostis. Can you remember what it means? Hostis, a bit like hostile. It means an enemy. All right. So this is masculine singular nominative. Hostis. Vocative stays the same. Accusative then gets em. Always em for accusative third declension. Is, always is for genitive singular third declension. Dative e, ablative e. So if we just rhyme it off together a couple of times. Hostis, hostis, hostem. I see the enemy, know the enemy, hate the enemy. Hostis, hosti, hoste. Hostis, hostis, hostem. Hostis, hosti, hoste. Hostis, hostis, hostem. Hostis, hosti, hoste. Hostis, hostis, hostem. Hostis, hosti, hoste. All right. So that's the singular throughout all the cases. So now let's take an adjective that behaves a little bit like this, third declension. And one such example is the word fortis. Fortis can mean brave or it can mean strong. It has a couple of different meanings, so we'll take it as brave or strong. And the good news is for these many of these third declension adjectives, most of them in fact, and certainly ones that end in is, they're the same for masculine and feminine. So if I wanted to say the brave man, vir fortis, vir fortis. The brave woman, femina fortis. The brave boy, puer fortis. The brave girl, puella fortis. So that's great. So we don't have to, whereas we had the us words, we had to change them to a if it's the feminine. We don't have to do that with these, but we do have different cases. So let's have a look. Nominative and vocative is still the same. and predictably, like the hostis to hostem, fortis fortem is accusative. So, for instance, I praise the brave boy, puer. Puerum, accusative. Fortem, accusative. Laudo, I praise. Puerum fortem laudo. Alright, so because I'm praising him, he's the object, the direct object of the verb, and both the noun, the boy, and the accompanying adjective, because it's attached and tied to that noun, require the same case, the accusative here. Alright. Genitive of the, well, we've got is. The fact that it started out as is in the nominative is just means it's easy in a sense. You don't have to do anything. Alright, so it's of no concern really. Genitive is always is, singular, third declension. Dative, e, so that would be 2 or 4. Maybe I give the sword, the gladium, to the brave boy, and it would be forti puero. Alright, forti, 2 or 4 him. And the ablative, this one's the only one that's a little bit different, because with the noun, the third declension noun, we have hoste. The adjective gets e, just like the dative, so they're actually both the same. So you have to distinguish based upon context. What if you see that word forti, you think to yourself, right, that could be a dative singular, 2 or 4, or an ablative, such as with. Remember the word with? Come. So with the brave boy. I walk with the brave boy will be ambolo cum puero forti, or forti puero. Alright, so that's ablative. So we've got fortis, fortem, fortis, forti, forti. So that's the only bit that's slightly different. Other than that, you can see it's definitely third declension pattern. We're just dealing with singular here, guys, although it follows the third declension, the plural too. Fortis, fortem, fortis, forti, forti. Again, fortis, fortem, fortis, forti, forti. Alright, so strong or brave, fortis. And we remember it's whether it's masculine or feminine, it's going to follow the same pattern. The neuter would be a little bit different if you're interested. The neuter in the nominative and accusative and vocative would be forte, F-O-R-T-E. But we're probably not going to use that frequently, because these words I've chosen are typically referring to people. So we'll only for today concern ourselves with masculine and feminine, and they're going to work in the same way. So let's look at a few other examples of adjectives. So we've got here fortis, strong or possibly brave. This is a nice one. Fidelis. Fidelis. We have the English noun fidelity. The opposite would be infidelity. Means loyal or faithful. Alright. Fidelis. A loyal friend, masculine. Amicus, fidelis. Feminine. Amica, fidelis. Remember the adjective, be it masculine or referring to a masculine or feminine thing or person, is going to stay the same. Alright, even though the noun is different. So amicus fidelis, a faithful male friend. Amica fidelis, a faithful female friend. Tristis, tristis is sad. Fortis, fidelis, tristis. Alright, so all of those, they start is, then they're going to go M, is, E, E. Exactly like this one, okay? So if you ever see one of those in the dictionary, you look up an adjective, then straight away, looks like that, you know how to use it. They don't all end in is, some end in a consonant. So let's consider some of these. Felix. Think of the English word felicity. Felicitous. The opposite would be infelicitous. Happy or fortunate. I mean lucky as well. We had lightus, didn't we, as happy. This is similar. Felix, happy, possibly lucky, fortunate. Again, these ones here, they're going to be the same for masculine or feminine. So, for instance, a happy or lucky, depending on the context, a happy master, dominus felix, dominus felix. A happy mistress, domina felix. All right. Now, whereas the is words like fortis, fidelis, they stay the same in the genitive, and we know how to put the endings on. A bit like with some of the other third declension nouns, we sometimes get with these a consonant change in the middle, and we have to know how it changes. So, for instance, felix, it doesn't become felixem, felixis. It mutates to a c, a k. So, after nominative and vocative, felix, felix, felicem, felicis, felici, felici. And when you look it up in the dictionary or the reference section of the glossary of your textbook, whatever you're using, it will always be indicated, like with the third declension nouns. If there is a change, we know it's got to be is for genitive singular, but you wouldn't necessarily, as a beginner, know what the change is here. So it will give you the genitive singular, kiss, and then that will be the same for the accusative, dative, and ablative. So the X will disappear and the C will replace it. Then you'll just add your M-S-E-E. We also notice that the I becomes long. So it's felix, felix, felicem, felicis, felici, felici. Should we just do that again? Felix, felix, nominative, vocative. Felicem, accusative, be it masculine or feminine. So I see the lucky, happy man or woman, felicem, C-E-M. Of the happy, lucky man or woman, felicis. To or for him or her, felici. With, by, from, felici. Felix, felix, felicem, felicis, felici, felici, and it's provided. So again, when you're writing your notes, when you're recording vocabulary, just like with the third declension nouns, who end in consonants and undergo changes, likewise with the adjectives, you just need to put in brackets the genitive singular like that, then you know how to make all the other forms, and that would fall through in the plural, by the way. So felices, felices, dative plural, felicibus. So the X is only really present in the nominative and vocative singular. Then the C will come in for all the rest of it. And the same will happen with other adjectives. So for instance, here we've got audax, audax. It means bold. Again, we have the English word audacious, audacity. Do you have the audacity to tell me that you're not learning Latin? The boldness, all right? So again, nominative and vocative, audax, audax. Then we see that the X has changed to a C in the genitive singular, audacis. Therefore, accusative, audacem, C-E-M, audaci, audaci. Let's just do it. Audax, audax, audacem, accusative, audacis, genitive, audaci, audaci. Audax, audax, audacem, audacis, audaci, audaci. And likewise with this next one here, nice word, mendax, mendax. Lying, somebody who's telling lies, false. We have the English word mendacious. It's a nice one to use. Someone who's lying. Again, the X becomes a C. So it's mendax, mendax, accusative mendacem, genitive mendacis, mendaci, mendaci. Mendax, mendax, mendacem, mendacis, mendaci, mendaci. I hope that makes sense to you guys. The more you do this, the more you come across them, the more you'll get used to it and familiar you'll become with these little changes, all right? But they all do follow the third declension pattern. As I've said, it's just that the adjective gets an E and the noun tends to, in most cases, get an E, hoste. Gladiatore, mercatore, all right, for instance. So, let's just spend a few minutes making some sentences to practice these and just put them in different cases. Right, what about nominative case? The brave Excuse me, my eyes itching. The brave gladiator. The brave gladiator fights in the arena. The brave gladiator fights in the arena. Let's analyse, folks. Who's fighting? The verb is pugnare. Pugnat. Who's fighting? The gladiator, the brave gladiator. Right, he's nominative because he's doing the action subject. Therefore, gladiator and brave must both be nominative. Gladiator fortis. Gladiator fortis. Fortis gladiator. In arena pugnat. Gladiator fortis. Hodie today. In arena pugnat. Remember the word for athlete. It's first declension, word. Athleta, or athleta. TH in the middle, athleta. Let's make the athlete bold. He doesn't have much of a chance, and he's not as strong as the gladiator, but he's bold, he's giving it a go. All credit to him. The bold athlete does not overpower the strong gladiator. The bold athlete does not overpower, superare, superat, the strong gladiator. Who's overpowering or not overpowering? The bold athlete. Right. Athleta, nominative. Audax. Audax athleta, nominative. Athleta audax. Not overcomes, not overpowers. Non superat. Non superat. The gladiator who is strong. Gladiatorem, accusative. Fortem. Alright, because the adjective attaches to the accusative. It's talking about the same person, therefore must be in the same case. One more time. The bold athlete, athleta audax, does not overcome the strong gladiator. Gladiatorem fortem non superat. Probably a bit more Latin sounding if we put our verb at the end, but it's not the key point of this exercise. The key point is the endings. So athleta audax, audax athleta, gladiatorem fortem, accusative. He's undergoing the action. Okay, what about in the audience, in the arena? We have the happy or lucky master watching, spectare, watching the gladiator. The happy master watches the gladiator. You see he's put a bet on. So he's pleased, it's going well, he's going to get some money. The happy or lucky master, Dominus Felix, gladiatorem. What's the verb to watch? Spectat. Third person singular with a T ending. So Dominus spectat, Dominus Felix spectat, Dominus Felix gladiatorem, accusative, spectat. All right. The lucky master counts his money. He's won his bet. The gladiator won, so he's counting his money. The verb is numerare, numerat. The happy master, Dominus Felix Dominus, pecuniam, accusative, numerat. Dominus Felix, pecuniam, numerat. And he's got a slave with him, and the slave is sad. The sad slave does not have money. Or money not has, because remember in Latin we don't need doesing and doing, we just put the verb to have, has, and put known in front of it. So the sad slave, what's that? Tristis, servus tristis, money, accusative, pecuniam, non habet, from habere, habeo habes, habet, he has habet, negative, non habet. That's simple, you just put your known in front. Don't try and find the word to do or does, forget it. Habet, non habet. praises, laudat, does not praise, non laudat. Sees, videt, does not see, non videt. Just put non in front. So, the sad slave does not have money. Servus tristis, pecuniam non habet. Servus tristis, pecuniam non habet. Right, the master hastens to the villa with the money. The master hastens, the verb is contendere, third conjugation. Contend it, it. Add to the villa with the money. Dominus, ad villam, cum with pecunia, long a, ablative singular, cum pecunia contendit. Dominus contendit, the master hastens. Dominus contendit, where to? Ad villam, cum with pecunia. Dominus, ad villam, cum pecunia contendit. Right. What about the matron? Waits for, expects, expectare, the master in the atrium. The matron is expecting, awaiting, the master in the atrium. Matrona, expectat. Dominum, in atrio, ablative case, in atrio. Matrona, dominum, in atrio, expectat. So let's say the master arrives and he doesn't want to know about the money that he's won, so he's going to pretend the gladiator lost. And he says, clamat, dominus clamat, he exclaims. Clamat. I have no money. I have no money. Ego, pecuniam, accusative, non habeo. Non habeo. The lying master, hides the money. The verb is celare, to conceal, celare, celat. Dominus mendax pecuniam celat. Dominus mendax pecuniam celat. And then the matron is sad. The sad matron hastens to the garden. Hortus. The sad matron hastens to the garden. Matrona tristis ad hortum contendit. Matrona tristis ad hortum contendit. The lying master gives money to the faithful slave. You see, the slave didn't say anything. He didn't let it slip. So he doesn't get it all, maybe a few coins. All right, so let's do this as our last sentence. The lying master gives money to the faithful slave. Let's just analyze the components in English, case-wise. The lying master gives money to the faithful slave. What's the verb? Gives. Do you remember it? Dare, do das dat. Do das dat, damus dat is dant. So he gives, right, so it's dat from dare. Right, who's giving? The master who is lying. So noun and adjective are going to be nominative case. What's he giving directly? The money. That's your accusative. Pecuniam. To whom is he giving it? To the slave being faithful. That's the indirect object, therefore dative case, both for noun and adjective. The lying master gives the money to the faithful slave. Dominus mendax. Dominus mendax. That he gives the money, pecuniam. Now we need a double dative. To the slave, servo, faithful. It's fidel, sorry, I can't find it. Fidelis, dative, fideli. Servo fideli, to the faithful slave. fideli servo. Same thing. Well done if you got it right, guys. This is tricky. Dominus mendax. Servo fideli pecuniam dat. Dominus mendax pecuniam servo fideli dat. So, one last time, we have fortis, strong or brave, fidelis, loyal, faithful, tristis, sad, felix, happy or lucky, audax, bold, audacious, mendax, lying. All right. So those are our adjectives, and let's just have a go at rhyming off this pattern once again, bearing in mind it applies both for masculine and feminine, and this is in the singular throughout the cases. Fortis, fortis, fortem, fortis, forti, forti. Fortis, fortis, fortem, fortis, forti, forti. And we know that some of them change a little bit and will always be given in the dictionary the genitive singular if there's going to be a consonant change. So let's just do it with audax, bold, audax, audax, audacem with the C, audacis, audaci, audaci. Audax, audax, audacem, accusative, audacis, audaci, audaci. There we go. So a new stock of adjectives. I'll come back with some more soon to add to your list, folks. And nice to just write these down and learn them in conjunction with the third declension nouns. All right. So I hope that's been useful. I hope that's something a little bit new and interesting for you guys. And I'd be very impressed if you want to try to make some of your own simple sentences using some of these adjectives and some of the nouns we've covered, or perhaps even looking up a few more. And feel very free to put them in the comments, and I shall have a quick look at them and get back to you to give you feedback on those. So thank you for watching. Please do like this video if you found it useful. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know where you're watching this from, and I'd love to hear from you. And I shall be back soon with the next video in this third unit. Alright guys, thank you. Gratias ago et valete.